start with a prayer. Father, we come before you and I ask that you will cleanse our hearts and prepare us. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of our heart be acceptable in your eyes, Father. Amen. This icebreaker is about field fires and life, and it's about lighting a fire in your life. I burn felt as part of a felt management thing. On the farm you clean camps by controlling a fire, but a controlled fire means that the fire mustn't go outside the camp, otherwise obviously it's not controlled. So experience has taught us that you prepare well. You make fire breaks, and you service your equipment, and then you take plenty of drinking water and game or energy with, and as many people as possible. Now, if you want to control this thing, it's got to have rules. Or you've got to have a method. And the rules we use to make a fire break is you always burn from the top down. So that when the fire, if a fire does want to run, it burns into a place that's already clear. You know, if you burn down. And also, if you're burning on the level, you burn against the wind. Because the wind, when it catches a fire, it obviously then pushes where the fire has already burnt. That's our little method. So, in trying to control a fire, you get everything together, you assemble your people and off you go early in the morning. And you will start on the plateau. If a camp goes into a slope or into a river, that's where you'll go, you'll work downhill. Because your fire break has to, you have to control this thing. Okay. So typically, everything starts well. Lovely summer morning, plenty of dew, the fire hazard is low, the wind is prevailing, hou heeltyd in dieselfde rigting, and you actually battle to light the fire. And then, after a little while, you look at all these people standing around doing nothing, and you think, what? Bring all these people. But you see, then around about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, things start changing again. Now the dew evaporates. And as you go down into a kloof, the plants get a bit taller and the things that burn get hotter. And the wind changes direction. On top of the mountain, it's fairly constant, it blows in one direction. But in a kloof, one moment it blows towards you and the next moment it blows away from you. And well, when it blows towards you, and you're full of smoke and you can't see, your eyes burn and you can't breathe. And the heat is next level. It gets very hot too. So, just about this kind of time, you'll have come a nice long way and think you're on top of your burning thing, and then a little glowing ember sets alight at the back there somewhere. So everybody has to run off and stop that fire that has sprung up, and things get a little bit exciting. And you see, it's at times like that fires get out of hand. Now there are things that you do, and there are things that you don't do in a situation like that. So let's start with what you don't do. It's not rocket science. You're not going to stand on the top and watch a fire burn up at you from the bottom. because the heat and the smoke is coming your way. You're going to get fired. So rule number one is you don't try and stop the fire from the top. And the second thing is you don't do nothing or just turn around and walk away. Because then you haven't got a controlled fire, and your neighbor and everybody else can get rather excited because you're burning their things. So you don't do nothing. That's the thing you don't do. So what do you do? Well, when a fire gets out of hand like that, the first thing you surely do is you make sure everybody is safe. And you take responsibility. And the second thing you do is you ask for help. Put your pride in your pocket, Putty. Get your neighbors to come and help you. You know, we so often think, I better not ask my neighbor, he's busy, and what's he going to think? Don't go there. Put your pride in your pocket and get help as quickly as you can. And then once you've got that under control, you get your people together and see that they have enough water and game and stuff to enable them to help you. If everybody's half passed out from heat exhaustion and he can't help you with the fire, then he's no good to you. So the fourth thing that you do is you read the rules of a fire. A fire does have rules, believe it or not. You see, a fire burning uphill is hard to stop because it is driven by thermals and updrafts. And it moves fast. But as it changes the slope, as it gets on top of the hill, there's no longer heat getting to stuff that burns because the stuff that has to burn is lower down. And then it slows down a bit. So where it changes slope, you've got a chance to get in there. Sometimes a krantz can help you. You know, a krantz on the slope of a hill, it helps you to channel the fire there a bit. Or if there's a road on top of the mountain, you can make a backburn. You use what you can. Those are the rules of the fire. You use what you can. And then you get your people in the right place, and you use teamwork. And you rotate the people so that everybody isn't in the smoke at the same time, all the time. So now life can be rather like a felt fire in some ways. You know, whenever we start with something new, things always look quite simple and they look promising. You know, after school, I find a job and I think of the promotion I'll get, and then I think about the car that I'm going to buy and so on. Or if you're newly married, you also start something. You can't believe how good life can be. And you say, she loves me forever. Isn't that how it is? I mean, when you just started the marriage. Well, when I start my own business, you know, you get the oak that he's going places. He says, I'm going to go big. And the bank manager likes me, and he's the best oak I've met, and they somehow approved this loan straight away. That's how life starts. Or, you know, the lesser things in life. The first time you smoke, or drink, or drugs, whatever it is, it looks easy. Because your first cigarette, you say, oh man, it does nothing to me. I can take it. Isn't that so? So we can go on. But life has an unpredictable turn sometimes. And sometimes things want to run like this fire does. So now you started this job, and after a little while, either firm goes bust or you lose your job, but the car's payment's due, and the baby's sick, and your dog bit the neighbor's wife, and now what? Or you go with the boys to rugby, and she's pregnant, and when you come home at 3 o'clock at night, and you pass out in the passage, then she's not smiling anymore. In fact, she's taking the car's keys, and as she slams the door, she says, "You hear from my lawyer?" In my business, things are going so well. I got this big state contract, another big deal. And I borrowed some more money to supply the goods. And now the oak who I dealt with has been sacked, and they can't find the contract, and this bank manager dude, he can be really nasty. I think I called him a friend, you know. And the smoker, he's still quite a caller. But these days, when I light the gunster, my hand shakes. And in the mornings I cough, even if I'm not sick. It's when the fire gets going. Maybe it's already out of hand. I don't know. But then, the same rules apply. You see, there are things you do, and there are things you don't do. In life, don't justify yourself. It's just as useless and as dangerous as trying to put out a fire from the top. It's a no-brainer. Don't justify yourself. And don't do nothing or run away from a problem. Don't do nothing. If you do nothing, the problem will get worse. It's also a no-brainer. So, what are the things you do? Remove innocent people. We remove the people in the fire. Everybody's safe. You take responsibility. Stop blaming others. Take responsibility for the things in your life. Yeah, we didn't want to ask the neighbors for help, want wat gaan hulle sê? Man, put your pride in your pocket and get help. God is your best bet. You can trust Him. And then number 3. You know, we gave, the oaks that must help us put the fire, we gave them game and water so that they got woman to do this thing. Make it possible for the people who want to help you to do so. Don't treat them as if they have a problem. In trying to do that. And like a fire, trouble responds to rules. Don't talk to the people. It helps to create a situation where the problem can be dealt with as constructively as possible. And deliver on promises. Don't promise in the wind. Now, the weekend lies before you. You each arrived here with a Ferrari engine going flat out in your chest. Because you were working, you had to somehow or other get here and the goede jaag mee rond. Slow down. Put that engine there where it's idling, where it's ticking over slowly, so that you can hear what he said here to you. Let Jesus wash your feet and anoint your head with sweet smelling balm of His grace. You know, with God on your side, you can put out any fire. And remember, where the fire is burnt, rain comes and there's new growth. And that's the growth of tomorrow. That's what it's about. The growth of tomorrow. Gentlemen, I bless you in the name of Jesus. Amen.